Hello and welcome to day 7 of Adventures in Tarot Casting. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. I know I really have been. I've actually been looking really forward to each morning getting up and picking the board for you and sharing a little bit about how I came to draw it and also about how I would do a reading on it. And sometimes the readings change given the placement. So today I chose the Moon casting board, which is based off of the Moon card from Out of Hand Tarot, which will be launching on Kickstarter on June 21st. So soon, I'm so excited. A little backstory about how I decided that this would be the depiction for this particular Moon card was I've always seen the moon as a mirror, as something that reflects back to us aspects that we might need to see, or, you know, you don't always have to believe what you see in the reflection. You know, it's just, so the key thing was like a mirror. And since this deck is about living the tarot basically and how it might look in our daily world instead of just happening upon, you know, a path with 2 pillars and some wild creatures, in this card I have somebody at the beach. We've got the pillars have been replaced by some stone formations, and the hand is obviously holding an antique style mirror with one hand harnessing the moon. You know, I'm sure you've all seen those pictures where it's surreally, like it's set up to where the person looks like they're holding the moon or whatever. So that's kind of what this is supposed to be emulating. The tattoo on this wrist is the wolf, and then the tattoo on this wrist is a domestic dog. And then we have the crawfish as an ornate handle on the mirror, and it looks as if it's coming up out of the water. So the symbolism is still all there. And I also like to add, you know, in the full moon face, there's the half moon still, and that one has been replaced kind of by a skull, showing that it needs to go deeper into our core. So then deciding how I want to use the placements for this one, I've got the 3 large card placements plus this horizontal one. So I think it would be really neat to use these specific ones as like a bridge. So the central card, I'm gonna be using the Spreadcrafter's Oracle as kind of like a question, or it's gonna give us like the theme of this reading. And then we're gonna lay some cards. I have some new Lenormand tiles that I can't wait to share with you, and this is their debut. And those are gonna be the 4 corners. And then the bottom 3 here are gonna be the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot Tiles. And then the Oracle card is also gonna be there from Nature's Portals. So let's just get to it, shall we? Let's see what the theme is. Give this another quick shuffle. And then cut the deck. All right. Purpose. Oh, what a great, great, great card for reflection, right? So this board, when I show up to this board, like I said before, it embodies that the reason we might be reflecting on something, the reason we need to go a little deeper with ourselves, what we're seeing as real versus illusory. And so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna use this center card as the purpose of why we're here. What are we doing? This card by Kimberly Tsan says, what is your North Star, your calling? What drives you and inspires you? What do you allow to guide your actions, and what gives life meaning? So the cards that I'm gonna pull from Out of Hand Tarot, we're gonna put one on each side, and then we're gonna do another one horizontally as a bridge to bridge these 2. Oh, first I wanna do an oracle, excuse me. And so like the oracle cards generally tend to be an umbrella or just something to kind of think about, something to emulate throughout the reading. If you get stumped, you can always go back to the oracle card. Sometimes it weighs in heavy, sometimes it's just a passing thought. You know, I don't give it entirely too much weight unless the reading feels like it's warranted. Okay. And we have the Prophet which is the praying mantis. So whenever I see this, I think of prophecy, and I love that it aligns so much with purpose. So these two really do go together. The praying mantis here could be telling us, you know, you might think you know one thing about your purpose, but the other is telling you to be still, be silent, wait to strike, wait to take action on it, especially when we're in this space of reflecting what aspects we think are that we want and what aspects are maybe being projected onto us by others. So let's bring in some out of hand cards. Shuffle these a little so that we know what our purpose is. And we could even use this since there's the 4 questions in there. It's like, what is your North Star? What is your, you know, your calling? And then what drives you and inspires you? So we could say, what is your North Star, your calling? And we've got this, it's the King of Pentacles over here. And then what drives you and inspires you? And we've got that 5 of Wands. So we're gonna get to the bridge card in a minute, but we're gonna talk through this, right? So this King of Pentacles as what is our North Star and our calling? And it could show up as we really feel that maybe we're here, we're good to help other people be successful. Because we're successful, it's easy to share that gift with somebody else. So whatever it is that you're good at, that could be your purpose. And now you're trying to figure out how you share that. How do you see somebody who might be struggling business-wise or might just be doing something that is not necessarily the way you would do it, but instead of like just giving unsolicited advice, you have to kind of wait. You have to pull back and wait until they ask for help, right? Because what drives you and inspires you is watching it happen. You know, this 5 of Wands, watching the struggles of the world, watching the people go about something that you know could be done easier, you know. This King of Pentacles, every time I see that, I just think of the success that it takes to be good in business, that it takes to be good in just running maybe a household or just whatever it is that you're good at in life. You know, it's not always just money, but it is something that you do that you feel is just your calling, right? And then what comes easy to you doesn't necessarily always come easy to others. Like art is really easy to me. I've been doing it professionally for over 20 years, right? It's such muscle memory. So when I try and help somebody with a program that maybe seems pretty unfamiliar, that has become so second nature to me, I have to pull back, I have to wait, I have to see what they already know, and then wait for them to ask the right questions. You know, I can implement a little bit, kind of like what I'm doing with these readings, is to show you how I do it, but ultimately I want you to find your own way, you know. And with this 5 of Wands, I specifically chose the Game of Cat's Cradle because it's got that similar energy of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith of the 5 of Wands being all jumbled up and everything mixed together. And then you got the other person coming in here with this distraction to see if you're going to continue to work under pressure with the distraction, you know. So your purpose is just kind of helping people get through those things that seem to be a little bit more difficult, right? But again, nobody likes a know-it-all. Nobody wants somebody to come in and just be like, oh, this is how you need to be doing it. So your purpose is to show up as maybe the authority of something, but you have to wait. You have to wait to see so that you can assess maybe where you can interject some constructive criticism with, you know, you can be kind while still helping other people. So the bridge is going to bring these two together. Not like I haven't already done that, but it's going to kind of connect the King of Pentacles with the 5 of Wands, giving this another quick shuffle. And this could be answering that question of what do you allow to guide your actions and what gives life meaning. And then we will put these together, and we've got that 4 of Wands, so we're going to just do this. And the 4 of Wands showing up as the bridge between something you're really good at and something that people struggle with is that 4 of Wands. It's the desire to bring people together. It's the desire to celebrate what, you know, if I'm good at this, like I specifically chose this person giving henna and receiving henna for the 4 of Wands because it is celebration. It's a shared moment that is fleeting, because henna is not permanent, and neither is this moment. No moments in our life are technically permanent. So the King of Pentacles, bridging that gap with the purpose of the Five of Wands, it's wanting people to feel the same joy that you feel, even amidst their own struggle and their own chaos and like figuring things out. So it's celebratory, right? Is when we can share our gifts. So now at this point, I feel like the reading it's pretty good, but I like to bring in this, you know, I make these placements because I like to bring in other tools that we create, and I like to play with them. I don't want to make something that we never use, right? So instead of Lenormand down here, which is something I could really do, which I would normally do if I was using the rectangular tiles, but today I'm going to use tarot. And these are going to be kind of the undercurrent, right? Like, why do you feel the need to share your purpose at all? And so we have the Eight of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Chariot. And in this space, the Eight of Wands is coming in quick with these, you know, the things that you've observed, which is that Page of Swords, with the Chariot. So I like to read in this kind of placement. I'm so used to reading it like Lenormand. So it's like the Page of Swords is the center of this little 3-card spread, and it's going, they are somebody who has observed. So this is the king being called to action to help, right? So they've observed what is going on around them, and they want to help communicate the best way. And they have all these ideas that are coming in fast, but it might seem very, very, very scattered, because the Chariot is also here being like, okay, you're going to share your message, and it might not come across exactly how you want it to, which is why you have to pause and wait to go back into this space, because you're being called to just compel, and you're so excited about it, right? So you're driven to bring these new ideas into the world around you, right? Because you feel that, hey, if I'm good at it, I want you to be good at it too. And that is your driving motivation. But because it's the page, you still need a little bit of time to figure out the full story, right? So how do we figure this out? And this is where I'm going to bring in the new Lenormand tiles. I created them over the last few days, and they're fun. So I want to play with them, and that's why they're here. So I'm going to use them as guideposts in this reading. And the first guidepost we have is the star. So we're going to throw that here. And then we have the tree. I'm going to put that one there. This is the back. See what this one is, 30, which is lily. I'm going to put this one here. And 26, which is the book, and we're going to put this one here. So as guideposts to this reading of, you know, showing up, being in our purpose, doing the thing, wanting to share our gifts with the world and help other people through perhaps things that they perceive to be difficult, you know, we're being called to do this. We feel like this is our inner calling. It gets us giddy and excited, like somebody experiencing something for the first time. And because these ideas come in so fast, we need to like pull back a little bit and just really think about how we might deliver our message, right? So the stars, you know, the star up here aligns that this is aligned with your purpose. This is your message. This is your calling. You're being guided, right? With tree, it's talking about that growth, and you want to see not only by helping others, you grow too, right? So spiritually, physically, all the things, like you just feel like doing this just really helps you get that stability and get that footing, and you know, just it's good for your overall mental health, wellness, all the things that a tree brings. And then when we have the lily and the book down here, talks about this comes from a place of just deep peace and your virtues, right? And it's something that you feel like it's going to be this thing that it's your calling because you're doing it for a long time. Lily is something that connects us with our elders, our ancestors. It's from our place of just that place of peace and beauty, right? So we want to share this. And then the book shows up and says, well, there's still so much to be learned. So while you may have secrets to share, understand that everybody around you is not on the same path. So that way, that's why there's like that struggle there. They're not necessarily going to get it right away. So you have to be willing to show up in your whole self and help them study if that's what needs be, right? I like the Lenormand like this. Like we just kind of did a round reading like that, but you could also play these two off of each other. So the stars with the lily, again, talks about your calling. It talks about this thing that you feel is just your prophecy, right? This is your guiding point. This is who you are. This is your purpose. And then the tree with the book talks about that. I just keep hearing spiritual growth, but it could be anything more than that. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual growth, but it's something that you still have yet to unlock that is going to affect the way that you branch out. Book often is associated with secrets and learning and study and just the things that we, think of knowledge, right? So that is how I would read all those together. And again, like with this board, because these are rectangular, they suggest you want to use tiles, but you could easily have just done a 3-card reading with these down here, but that's not how I chose to play with this board today. Again, with all of the casting boards that we create, the tile placements or the card placements are suggestions. You could literally have just ended the reading here and not use the bridge card if you didn't want to. Or maybe if you really enjoyed just the moon being up there, as spotlighting on the middle card, you could do that. You could use it as a 3-card spread. I know if you've stuck with me this far and you're on day 7 with me, then you are starting to see the underlying theme of playfulness, right? The whole purpose of these videos and these boards is to inspire you to get outside of the boxes. Like the reason that I started creating them was I'm very much a rule follower. So when I first got into tarot, I was almost more free with it because I didn't read all the books. I didn't know what I know now. And as soon as I start to learn the systems that they're based off of, my brain goes into, okay, it has to be X, Y, Z. This has to mean this. This has to mean that. And there's no absolute truths. It's not true. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It's going to come out how I want it to come out. But I started implementing and mixing systems to get myself out of the box, to give myself permission and be like, all right, well, if tarot is read this way and Lenormand is read this way and oracle cards are kind of a free-for-all, if I mix them together, it's like a giant conversation of, all different people in the room, and they're not going to stay on structure. They're not going to stay on task. They're going to kind of interject what they want, where they want. And it started to like allow me to breathe. It gave me this breath of fresh air to do my own thing. And that is really why the casting boards even exist in the first place. And because I'm an artist, I wanted to be able to make really pretty backdrops. So that's a little bit about why this system has kind of come to be. And it's so that I could give myself a permission slip to break the rules, right? So tarot casting is rule breaking. But let me know if you're enjoying this series. I love to see your comments. I will definitely respond. And I really just am so excited. If there's a board that you have your eye on that you really want me to do a video on and I haven't gotten to it yet, please again, let me know that. I will do my best in this 30-day period to cover most of what we have, but I have more than 30 boards, I'm sure. So, but some are redundant. But yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.